The Holy Church, tomorrow, the 1st of October, according to the church calendar, has a very great feast which unfortunately is not really well known in the West. It's the protection of the Mother of God. I don't really know the history of why it hasn't been so taken up in the West, because it certainly rates as an incredible feast day which has definite historic links which we read during the canon for the Matins. The appearance of the Mother of God in the temple with a shroud which she, or with a omophorium that she covered the people there. In Russia especially, this feast day, the protection of the Mother of God, is extremely highly revered, and there are many, many churches donated to this particular feast day. Where my parents come from, for example, around the Smolensk area, their church there was also in commemoration of the protection of the Mother of God. As the church here in Melbourne, the major Russian one, is. The reason for this is that, as you know from our many hymns and songs to the Mother of God, she is a major protector and a major intercessor for us sinful people, wherever we might be. She bypasses those sins that we commit, and there are many that we commit, and many which you don't even know that we commit. And through her mercy, lifts us up and releases us from these sorts of things, whether they be sicknesses of soul, or of body, or of mind, or of dangers, or of any of those sorts of things. There is not one service in the church which is not associated with prayers to the Mother of God. So high does she stand in the scheme of things, and to the detriment of those who believe that women have very little role in the church, she certainly plays a major role. When we were travelling as a family through Russia several years ago, and on the 1st of October, we were passing through to one of the ancient monasteries there, which was being opened, or had been recently opened after the communist destruction. And there, on one of the pillars that was supporting the roof, was a miraculously appearing icon of martyr, passion bearer Alexius, the son of the last emperor of Russia. It wasn't fully visible yet, but it was becoming more and more visible each day, and it was a real miracle to behold these sort of things. On the way to this place, so we're travelling by car, we went into this forested area, and it seemed like somebody had strewn that white packaging material that you often get when you receive a parcel on the ground. And we thought, who caused this sort of thing here to occur? Stopped the car, went out, had a look, and it wasn't. It was snow. It was a thin layer of snow. And we looked at the date, 1st of October, according to the church calendar. It appears that on the 1st of October, the first snows also fall throughout Russia. It was a real miracle. It was only a very small layer, but nevertheless, it was there. And I think that it's fairly well known that that is the beginning of that winter period that occurs. And you only have to look at some of the historic incidences that occurred to find out that that is so. That still occurs, and occurred even in the godless communist times. I recently was studying a bit more about the history of Britain, particularly that in the 15th, 16th century. And I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was shocked because there are many Orthodox that think that the Anglicans are the closest of all the Protestant groups to the Orthodox. However, when I read these histories written by contemporary scholars of known repute, it came out quite clearly that during those centuries in Britain, there was a massive iconoclastic movement. You could only call it iconoclastic. Any image to do with Christianity was removed, including the cross, and destroyed. We saw this ourselves when we visited the great cathedral in St. Albans, where the relics of St. Albans, the new martyr of Britain, was. And you could see on the pillars there the remnants of all the iconography that used to be there once being wiped away, scrubbed away, particularly through the inspiration of that terrible Henry VIII, which continued through and through. And there is this idea when you talk to people of that so-called Anglican faith, that they consider any adornment, any what we call image or icon, to be an idol, and is to be trampled upon, thrown out and destroyed. And these scholars confirm this. I know that today in some of these churches, so-called, they do put small icons of saints. But overall, there is still this disease, which we know in Orthodoxy is nothing less than iconoclasm, to which one of the ecumenical councils put an end to, because we know as Orthodox Christians that the Lord created humans to be higher than any other part of his creation, so much so that he became human himself, incarnate God. And it seems to be rather strange that you would trample upon all these sorts of things. Who are the heroes of these non-Orthodox so-called Christians? Who are their heroes? If they don't revere the saints, if they don't have anybody that guides them along that path of righteousness, then who do they revere? If they think it's only Christ, well, Christ likes it when we come to him through the people that he has sanctified and shown to be heroes in that struggle for salvation. Because without that struggle, we cannot obtain salvation. And these heroes that you see around yourself and in any Orthodox church have left for us a legacy of how to struggle and to overcome all those sorts of things that sort of pull us away from the kingdom of heaven. Each one of them is different. Each one of them has a different path in the sense of the struggles that they went through. And it is up to us to find the one which might be the closest to our own hearts and use them as our intercessors and use their writings and teachings as a help for us to walk our own path. This is an amazing thing, and that's why throughout the centuries, and more closer to our own time, through St. John of Kronstadt, Father Seraphim Rose, Abbot Hieromonk Herman, there in Metropolitan Philadelphia, there was this very strong voice that we must at all costs read the lives of the saints, read about how they struggled, read about those things which are necessary for us to overcome our own passions and to push through the world which is essentially heading into some sort of disaster. I read recently that one monk made the point that there is a sort of a communism coming into the West. Well, I put it to you all that basically the West today already lives in a communistic spirit. And as each year goes by, that becomes more and more prevalent. The tragedy is that young people especially do not know recent history, nor they want to know it. They are addicted to this multimedia, games, all these discussions with friends about actually rubbish things, excuse the expression, and therefore become numb as their freedoms are being lost, as all these things are being prepared, firstly for World War III, after which the Holy Fathers say there will be an emperor who will restore things for a little while, but then the apocalypse. I put it to you that it's very imperative for your own selves, and for your children, for your friends and neighbours, to understand what is happening in the world. It's an essential part of our spiritual struggle, and it is needed in order for us to progress and walk the righteous path, because all around us there is everything only to knock us off that path. God help us in this struggle, and may the protection of the Mother of God protect us, really protect us from these terrible things which seem to be coming to us quicker and quicker and quicker, but in such a way that people are sort of dumb, numb and blasé about it. God help you all and preserve and protect you in these things.